Going on, guys? Little change of course. I felt pretty moved in the spirit, and I just kind of wanted to come on and talk about it a little bit. So I was sitting in my chair, and I had finished like this bag of a Lego set that I was working on, and my phone finished charging. So I got on the phone and I was kind of just scrolling, just doom scrolling, not any good. And I came across this video, and the video moved me so much because it was talking about Jesus being crucified, but not so much that, but it was talking about the people that were mocking him and ridiculing him as he was being crucified. But through all of that, through all of the negatives that were happening, he was still able to keep a positive tone to it, and so much so that some random person that also had been crucified asked him to remember him when he gets to paradise. And I'm going to talk about that. It's from Luke. Luke, in my opinion, is one of the most important of the four main chapters of the New Testament, like over in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. But I'm just gonna kind of read out of this. Yeah, I'm just gonna read Luke 23, verse 24 through I guess 47. Luke 23, 24, yeah. Okay. So Pilate sentenced Jesus to die as they demanded, and he released Barabbas, the man in prison for insurrection and murder at their own request. But he delivered Jesus over to them to do with as they would. As the crowd led Jesus away to his death, Simon of Cyrene, who was just coming into Jerusalem from this country, was forced to follow, carrying Jesus' cross. Great crowds trailed along behind, and many grief-stricken women. But Jesus turned and said to them, "Daughters of Jerusalem, don't weep for me, but for yourselves and for your children. For the days are coming when the women who have no children will be counted fortunate indeed. Mankind will beg the mountains to fall on them and crush them, and the hills to bury them. For if such things as this are done to me, the living tree, what will they do to you?" 2 other criminals were led out to be executed with them at a place called the Skull. There all 3 were crucified, Jesus on the center cross, and the 2 criminals on either side. "Father, forgive these people," Jesus said, "for they don't know what they are doing." And the soldiers gambled for his clothing, throwing dice for each piece. The crowd watched, and the Jewish leaders laughed and scoffed. "He was so good at helping others," they said. "Let's see him save himself if he really is God's chosen one, the Messiah." The soldiers mocked him too by offering him a drink of sour wine, and they called to him, "If you are the king of the Jews, save yourself." A signboard was nailed to the cross above him, with these words, "This is the King of the Jews." One of the criminals hanging beside him scoffed, "So you're the Messiah, are you? Prove it by saving yourself, and us too, while you're at it." But the other criminal protested, "Don't you even fear God when you are dying? We deserve to die for our evil deeds, but this man hasn't done one thing wrong." Then he said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." And Jesus replied, "Today you will be with me in paradise." This is a solemn promise. By now it was noon, and darkness fell across the whole land for 3 hours, until 3 o'clock. The light from the sun was gone, and suddenly the thick veil hanging in the temple split apart. Then Jesus shouted, "Father, I commit my spirit to you." And with those words, he died. When the captain of the Roman military unit handling the executions saw what had happened, he was stricken with awe before God and said, "Surely this man was innocent." God bless reading his word. Amen. That's kind of all I wanted to come on and talk about. I felt really moved in the spirit, and I prayed on it, and I guess we'll see what happens now. You guys have a good night. Thanks for attending. It's kind of a random video I put out, but I hope you enjoy. See ya.